journey. Now I'm giving you the roadmap. So my programs are based on this framework, and this is what it looks like. So it has 3 pillars. It's actually pretty intuitive and simple. I mean, believe me, I've worked a lot on it, and it's based on my experiences, knowledge, the experiences of dealing with my clients. So you have 3 pillars. And when you have all those 3 pillars, simplify, reconnect, and sustain, dialed in, that's when you actually heal. And this kind of healing is sustainable. This is true healing. And you feel empowered, healthy, and free at the same time. So that's what we want to aim for. And what I am now sharing with you is a 3-step method, because I am all about laying a strong foundation and transforming your wellness, and all about transformation and not about quick fixes, and all about building sustainable habits, because that's when you see sustainable wealth, right? Without that, you actually quickly go back to square one. I mean, you get better, but then you're not able to stay there. Because transformation is this: you move from being a weary warrior where you're trying all kinds of things, you're stuck in a disease merry-go-round, as I said, you go round and round in circles, endless visits, no progress or very little progress, which is not sustainable, and you move to an inner healer. Inner healer is somebody who knows what she's doing, who's so tuned in that no matter what challenges that come her way, whether it's emotional health, physical health, she knows how to deal with it. And why? Because she's being guided by her own body. That's her true friend. So that's what an inner healer is all about. And it doesn't really matter, honestly, what the diagnosis is, right? So she's able to figure out how to, and this is what you can continue to be on that path. I mean, whether you're working with someone, not working, because you're now changed as a person. So the step one, I talked about a 3-step process. So the step one is connect, where it's about shifting from confusion and overwhelm to clarity. And you finally become clear. Why and how? Because you're tuning into your body's wisdom. So you're finally allowing your body to guide you. And that's exactly why you're now clear as to which direction you need to move towards. So when you reconnect with your body, you're finally able to understand the signals. And that's when you rebuild trust and you know that you're on the right path. So this is actually a model that I follow. D stands for discover your body's signals. O stands for own your healing journey. T stands for trust your inner guidance. S stands for simplify and nurture daily practices. If you don't get this dialed in, if you don't get this pillar right, this particular step right, actually, you remain stuck, exhausted, frustrated, and you're not sure why your symptoms keep returning. Right? This is where many people are actually. And this is the reason. And what they do as a result of this, they might ignore symptoms because they keep coming back, they medicate them, they rely too heavily on one lab report after another, or they see something as their body has broken. That's actually the saddest part of it, that they finally end up seeing their body as broken, and that's something that cannot be fixed. And I don't want that to happen with you. So for this particular phase, what I wanted to do, I'm just talking about a few ways that you can actually start incorporating this. As I said, I want it to be as actionable for you as possible. So the D that I talked about, discover your body signal, one of the easiest ways of doing this is through a body scan. So I tell my clients, you get up in the morning, you do a very brief body scan. So it's like you start, even while you're lying in bed, you start at the bottom of your feet and you slowly go up your body to the top of your head. So you focus on your ankles, then your legs, then your knees, your thighs, your waist. So you just keep going up and up. And it's like this flashlight that you have lit on each of these areas. And just see how it's feeling right in that area. Very briefly, you don't need to really stress about it, or just like this spotlight has been, shining on that particular area, and you cover your entire body and you just ask yourself, what do I need today? What does my body need today? And actually, without even doing this entire body scan, you can pause, several times in a day and just ask, what do I need today? What is my body telling me, or what does my body need more right now? Does it need more sleep, more hydration, movement? I mean, something that I need to keep reminding myself to get up several times. So I have actually a timer, because a lot of my work is sedentary. So I just get up, every 40 minutes, 45 minutes, and just take a walk and come. So you need to just do this. It's a very simple but a very powerful practice. And taking, of course, own your healing journey is about taking small, manageable daily actions, whether it's hydration, whether it's mindful eating, just doing that. And trusting your inner guidance, it all starts by acknowledging that your body is your partner in healing. And this is actually a very, very powerful affirmation. So you can start doing that. Because when you get this part done, if you can manage to get this part dialed in, my client actually beautifully shared this after embracing this particular step. And I want to clarify that these steps that I'm talking about, there are 3 of them. This is the first one. They all work in tandem with each other. While I'm showcasing them separately, they all work together, just like all the organs in your body. So as Palak said, my life is different. I started loving myself, taking care of myself. That's the transformation. That's the beauty. It goes much beyond symptom reversal. Of course, that also happens, but it's much beyond that, right? So as you see, it's a transformation that we are talking about. And the best part is the transformation seemed effortless. And this effortless word is used by all my clients. That's the power of this framework. So this is exactly what happens when you reconnect with your body's wisdom, and healing becomes natural and intuitive. So I don't need to tell you what to do. I can guide you. I can support you. You know exactly what needs to be done. So now let's come to step 2. Step 2 is about simplification, right? As I said, I will use the word a lot because I believe that when we simplify wellness, we amplify life. Life is not just about elimination, diet, supplements, labs, and exercise. It goes much beyond that, right? We have to look at ourselves as a person, not just a collection of parts. It means simplify means reducing overwhelm by streamlining your wellness practices. And how do you do that? By focusing on what really matters, right? That's the key here. So you basically figure out what matters. That's number one. You focus on nourishing essentials. So there are many different ways that you nourish your body, mind, and spirit, and it will be different for each of you. You prioritize rest and recovery, very essential, right? It's not an optional situation here. And you reduce overwhelm and stress. Healing happens when wellness feels simple. And it can be simple, right? That's what we are talking about today. It does not have to be so complicated. And when you simplify wellness, you will know. You will feel lighter, you will feel energized, and you will feel confident no matter what you're going through. So no more burnout, no more confusion, just sustainable and clear healing. If you don't get this part dialed in, if you don't get a hang of this, then you will constantly chase complicated diets, protocols, regimens, etc. And that leads to minimal progress because you're stuck, you're frustrated, right? So that's something that we don't want to do. And as a result of that, many people start chasing multiple more protocols because they believe they have not been disciplined enough or the protocol was not complicated enough. And that's a mistake. So, and that's something that I'm actually bringing in front of you, that it does not have to be this way. So begin simplifying one area first. So for this particular step, what I want you to think of, I have a model called SIMPLE model, but I'm not going to share, I have 2 more models actually. If I share both in detail, it becomes too overwhelming and confusing. So I've already shared one of the models with you, DOTS, where I shared one action step here. What I would like to share with you, that one action step that you can take is begin by simplifying one area of your life first. Say meals or bedtime routine or taking rest or anything like going off. So if it's a bedtime routine, right? So maybe bring up your bedtime, going to bed by half an hour, or maybe go off your screen 1 hour before. Right? Anything that will help your mind and body and brain relax. So what's one small change? You can ask yourself, what's one small change that can feel nourishing and not stressful? And if you have thought of something, I would love for you to share with me here. So anything, any small change as I'm speaking, I'm going to take a sip. So if you want to think of any one small area in your life that you want to change and that will feel nourishing. So as I said, it can be very simple. It can be that you swap scrolling through Instagram for reading a chapter of a book, right? It can be as simple as that. So I want you to think of one small area of your life where you can make this shift today, right today, just after this masterclass. You can go for a 15-minute walk, right, after dinner. So anything that you think is going to be possible for you. So this is how we start simplifying our wellness routine. Yeah? Let me just check if you've shared. Going off screen an hour earlier before bedtime. Yes, I think we all need to do that, Megha. You have just been very honest. I struggle with this as well. I tend to read a book. I try and read a book and get off my phone. So anyone wants to share, I would love to hear from you as well. Okay, I'm going to keep going. So that's one step that you can take today. You don't have to wait another day for this, right? So when you actually get this part down, I mean, you understand how to get this part. So this is what Ananya had to share. I have a better understanding of how my body works and what it makes it react. Like you understand exactly what matters and what doesn't. And, it's a very holistic way, of course, right, of addressing any chronic disorder. There's no side effect of this kind of approach. So this is exactly what happens when you stop overcomplicating your wellness routine, that you start focusing on what really matters, and healing becomes clear, sustainable, and aligned with your life. Like it fits in with your life. It's not something that you are forced to add in, right? So this is what Ananya also saw. I mean, that is the beauty and that is the power of this kind of approach. It's a very different approach from what you're probably used to. The other thing, the last step, but not the least, is sustain. Because as I mentioned, I'm all about sustaining wellness. I'm about sustainable, clear healing, not just getting well and then going back to square one. So sustain means creating consistent, simple habits. Habits are really important. Most people don't talk about it. Most programs that you will end up, being a part of don't even talk about habits. And it's about emotional balance, and it's about creating long-term wellness. Again, I'm talking long-term because when you actually are able to master this step, you're finally able to maintain your health effortlessly. That's the word again, right? That's the word my client use. I use the words verbatim. It feels, of course, it is not effortless, but it feels effortless because you have now no longer trapped in an endless cycle of symptom management. That's the reason it feels effortless. And you are in tune with your body. You are in alignment, finally. Because if you're not, you're not using sustainable practices, then you are again stuck in this disease merry-go-round and you never end up experiencing lasting wellness. And that's, I believe, is a tragedy, because it is definitely doable. And I hope you are finally getting an idea as to why it is doable for you too. So what ends up happening is that people, when they don't get this, then they try drastic lifestyle changes. Like they try and change everything in their life, or they try very, very strict protocols and routines, which of course don't work because they are not sustainable. And it becomes exhausting, they become tired, and they tend to give up quickly. Right. And that's something that I don't want you to now, go down that path anymore. Now that you know better, I want you to do better. So start by adding, let's keep it simple. Start by, now we talked about something that one change that you're making. Now I'm going to ask you to, so the action step for this this phase is start by adding one small sustainable habit daily. So it can be a short walk. It can be a brief 5-minute journaling, maybe writing about gratitude. So a gratitude practice, maybe taking, do a 5-minute deep breathing, anything. And you can do deep breathing in the shower, by the way. I mean, you don't have to. The way I teach about incorporating new practices is because I'm a health coach and behavioral change is a big part of my training. Adding healthy habits is very important for sustaining, as you can make out by now, for sustaining this. So I help my clients create lasting wellness by incorporating these habits, but incorporating habits does not have to be hard. So that's what I'm giving you right now. So just think of one thing that you can add, like one small thing. So this is the care formula that I follow, which is cultivate daily awareness. A stands for align with your body's needs. R, restore through simplicity. And E, embrace emotional guidance. So in this particular step, we also embrace our emotions. We understand, acknowledge, and learn to process and deal with them. Without doing that, without taking care of our mind, our emotions, we can't really sustain our, and this is another reason why people often remain stuck for years. So this emotional needs is very important, and letting your emotions guide you, you learn how to do that, because wellness is not a quick fix, it's a lifelong practice. So when my client Naila joined me, she was feeling very low. She had tried, actually, I think she was telling me the other day, I think by that time, 4 other functional medicine practitioners. Functional medicine, if you don't know about it, it's a stream of medicine which actually works beautifully with chronic health conditions. and it finds and addresses the root causes of disease. That's what functional medicine is in a nutshell. We have certain protocols. It's a particular approach. Again, if you go to my podcast, Embrace Your Healing Journey, you can find it on any of the podcast apps that you have on your phone. You will find that I've talked about functional medicine. So you can just search for it there. So when Naila came, she has multiple health issues and quite severe ones. She sees multiple experts. Even then, in spite of that, when she came to me, we simplified the process, and she's able to sustain many of these things, right? As I said, it's had to be a holistic approach. And in spite of still having health issues because of disease, some of the diseases are progressive, etc., she goes on to say, my disease no longer controls my life. That is the key. That is what I want you to understand. Even if the health issues, a chronic disease does not go away, etc., you learn how to, you learn how to take back power, right? You are no longer feeling hopeless, powerless, and helpless. That's what I want you to understand. That's the power of this kind of an approach. I believe in the power of my own mind. So I wanted to share this extremely powerful, thing with you. And that's the power of consistent self-care and alignment, right? So lasting change just, is inevitable. It's not just possible, actually, it's inevitable. That's what I want you to take away from today's masterclass. So now that we have covered all these 3 steps, connect, simplify, and sustain, I actually now want to hear from you, and I'll take a quick I'll pause here. How many of you think that you can actually do what we have discussed today, what we have covered, right? I just want you to drop in a yes or a no, or if you're not sure, I want you to say that, but I definitely want to hear with you. Since you are joining me live, I want you to get full value from this masterclass. As I said, there is a live bonus at the end. I am going to share my brand new group program with you. It's going to be amazing and transformative. But before that, I want to hear from you. Now that you know the path, now that you know what are the things that you need to do, how many of you think that you can do what we covered today? Please drop in a yes, no, not sure, thumbs up, whatever you want. Just put it in the chat and let me know. I would love to hear what you think. I hope we are on the same page, and I want you to see the possibility. That's what I want for you, the possibility of getting better, and no matter what conditions you're facing, knowing that you can get better, that it is possible to do. Because it's not, as you can make out, it's not about doing more. And it's okay if you're not clear right now. It's okay. But it's not about doing more. It's about doing what actually works, right? That's the difference. So it's not about doing more. It's about doing what actually works. Because you just need to connect with your body's wisdom. You need to simplify your wellness routine. There are 3 things actually. And you have to sustain your progress with ease. And I've added that ease because healing does not have to be complicated. But that's a message that we are giving. And I don't want you going away. That's, this is the key crux of the message from today's masterclass, because most people won't stick with this. But having said that, here's the thing. Most people won't stick with this on their own. Like these 3 steps that I've shared, it is definitely doable for you, for me, for everyone. But most people won't be able to stick with it, not because this doesn't work, but because they slip back into their old habits, or they get overwhelmed, or life gets in the way. And this is exactly why I created a step-by-step program to guide you through. So I hope you're ready and as excited as I am to see what that looks like. Megha, I believe that the body has its own healing power that would be connecting to your body. One needs a push and the right guidance. Yes, thank you for sharing that.